Hi, Brent. I'm here with Christian. We're gonna go through the report, and then obviously you'll get a copy of this. We can talk about it later, but figured you might want to see this too. So here we go.
Super. So first thing first, we're going to start with your hot water temperature of 105 degrees. This is coming from your 2018 50-gallon gas water heater, which is down in the basement. Almost all the plumbing supply lines in the property are copper. There's a nice mix of copper, but then there's also a lot of galvanized left. So galvanized plumbing supply lines, if you start to notice a reduction in any of your water pressure throughout the home, it's highly probable that the galvanized is starting to corrode as it deteriorates from the inside out, reducing the water pressure. So there is still a lot of galvanized plumbing supply lines left in the house. Almost all of the waste drainage lines are plastic, with some cast iron left as well. Dishwasher isn't secure, so it operates just fine, but it's not secure, so it just needs to be secured into the cabinets. Because as you pull the door open, you can actually pull the dishwasher out from the cabinets there. Gas shutoff for your fireplace is on the far left-hand side. It does have gas going to the fireplace. And fireplace looks fine. Just always make a recommendation prior to servicing to have it, prior to use, have it serviced and cleaned for the fireplace before you decide to use it. Most important location in your whole property is the water main shutoff. So your water main shutoff, as we can see from the street into the house, is galvanized. This is galvanized steel here. So there is still a lot of galvanized left in the property. But again, don't forget about the most important location in your whole home, which is in the basement, and that's your water main shutoff right there. Some things I don't like. So when they put the new water heater in, they did not really secure the metal flues very well. So the metal flues there are not actually, they don't have any mechanical fasteners or anything holding them in place. You can actually just take it apart. So there's a real potential there for them just to kind of fall, I guess. So they're not really secured very well. So some adjustments need to be made, and that's going to be an easy fix. Moving on to your gas furnace. So your gas furnace is a 2017. It's a 100,000 BTU unit. Heating side, it works really, really good. So these components up here is where your burners are, which provides the heat to the house. And then on the bottom, that's the blower fan. So the blower fan is what moves the air no matter if the AC or the heat systems are on. This always moves the air throughout the property. And again, the heating system works really good today, as we can, I can't see in that photo, but the heating system does work good today. The cooling system does not work today. So I try to activate the AC system, and this gray box above your furnace are the evaporator coils. So your evaporator coils here are older. They're 1992. They're 48,000 BTUs, 4 tons, and it did not work today. I even tried to activate it. The condensing unit on the exterior of the house was whining and making some funny noise. So the system just was not operating at all today.
That's not good.
So, yep. So the evaporator coils are old, condenser on the outside for the AC components are old, and the system was not operating at all today. And then so I kind of think that it's possible that the AC system may even be abandoned just because the condensate drain line isn't even connected or anything.
Yeah, sure.
So condensate drain line's not connected, and it's just possible the system may have been just purposefully abandoned when they switched out the heating system.
Okay.
And then moving on to the most important thing for you to do as a homeowner is taking care of the filter. So the filter is a really big filter. It's one of these fancy electronic type filters, and it's right on the left-hand side of your furnace. So you actually have to pull that panel on the right-hand side. There's a little handle. You pull that out real hard, and then it'll give you access to the big old filter that's in there. And this filter is you'll have to, I'm not 100% sure. You may have to special order these type of elements in there as far as the materials to replace it, because this whole assembly doesn't get replaced. It's just the components inside that get replaced. So it's like a dual filter, disposable filter type, but also electronic filter. Because on the front part of it, or the other side of it, there's actually a metal mesh screen that looks like it stays energized if it's connected to collect the dust and the debris a lot better. Well, I think to kill any kind of growth or whatever as well. But filter's very dirty today. It hasn't been changed out in a while. Moving on to the basement. So this is the garage wall right here, exterior wall right here. And on this wall, we got some minor cracking here on the concrete block foundation. Looking at the brick veneer on the exterior of this house, did not notice any evidence of a cracked brick veneer or anything. So I do think this cracking is probably older, maybe some settlement cracking, maybe some shrinkage cracking of the materials possibly. So with these photos that I provide you today, it wouldn't even be a bad idea to fill and seal these cracks and continue to monitor.
Okay.
Given the age of the house, it didn't surprise me. There was no evidence of any structural related issues within the home. So fill and seal, continue to monitor, and if it starts to separate even more, then that's when you want further review by a qualified basement specialist or foundation specialist. So some other discrepancies. One of your waste drainage lines, one of the mains in the basement by the laundry tub is actually leaking. So this is at the connection from the cast iron in the floor to the actual plastic waste drainage line here. And after running a lot of water through it, it does leak.
Okay.
The water's ran through it. Should be an easy fix though. That should be pretty simple to do. Moving on to your electrical system. We got 3 American wire gauge copper service lines coming to a 200 amp main disconnect. Electrically speaking, your panel's pretty filled up, so you don't have any room left for expansion. But 200 amps for this size of house with the gas appliances, I would like to think that electrically, if some of these breakers are tightened up a little bit, you can actually provide a little bit more space electrically for the system.
Oh, okay.
So 200 amps is a lot. So pretty good impression of that. And then I don't think it's a discrepancy. I couldn't get a great look at these breakers, but these breakers look like they can handle 2 wires per breaker, but I'm not 100% sure. So I wrote it up anyways, but you got three breakers that are double tapped. And due to the age of these breakers, it's probable these breakers may not be designed to have double taps, but
don't know for sure.
Don't know for sure, but this has been like this for a long time though too. So there's no evidence of scorching, overheating, any kind of. I mean, I had everything on in the house available to me, from the stovetop, the oven, the microwave. Had the furnace on the whole time I was here. All the lights on in the property. So electrically, even though we have the double taps, I don't think it's ever posed a hazard, and it's probable these breakers are designed for it. But again, I couldn't find any indication or information to tell me otherwise.
Okay.
Would recommend further review. Moving on to the attic. So attic, this is over the garage. Truss system, structural integrity looks good. Plywood sheathing, and then where I had the most information and potential discrepancies is actually the garage attic space. So we can see here some water staining, and I think it's past probable because the shingle's look in pretty good shape on the roof system at these locations. But it's just to note that with the amount of water staining within the garage attic space, you're going to want to continue to monitor these areas.
Okay.
Because you also have some water staining around the fireplace as well. From the attic space I could see, but it does appear to be dry. But multiple areas of water staining. But truss system looks good. Structural integrity looks good. Vent stack there for the plumbing system as far as the waste drainage line. You'll notice at this location in the garage, on the garage ceiling, there's some staining, and that staining on the ceiling in the garage is actually coming from this location here.
Okay.
So it's not because the boot stack is failed, but it's probable that maybe it did in the past.
Okay.
More good looking photos, structural components there, a lot of stored materials. If you like Christmas decorations, don't tell them there's stuff up there, but there's Christmas decorations and general rubbish up there. And then when we get real close to the house real close to the house from the garage attic space, we have a deteriorated and pretty well deteriorated truss right here. And I do think that is also past damages, but when it comes time to replace the roof system or whatever, then it's probably going to be due to replace that system. But it's quite deteriorated. I'm surprised because the plywood sheeting there is actually fairly new, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't even make an effort to replace it, because it looks quite deteriorated and crumbling just from past water penetration.
Okay.
In the attic space, and those water-related issues are all in the garage attic space, not in the house that I could see today.
Okay. Well, that's good at least.
And that's a better close up there. Yeah. So like that 2x4 is like done.
Yeah.
It's really really deteriorated. And then some more water staining, some more water staining here at the front, or at the back of the house. So all these issues are at the back of the house.
Okay.
Over the garage attic space, all this staining and stuff and deterioration back of the house. And then over the livable part of the house, we got anywhere from 6 to 8 inches plus of cellulose loose fill insulation. You have a nice balance of ventilation too, as far as soffit vents and roof ridge vent. So really good ventilating qualities. Great structural impression. A lot of ductwork and ducting up there in the attic space over the bedrooms. Roof ridge vent we can see there with the white materials there. Gusset plates look good. Truss system looks great. Just more good looking photos in the attic space. Cellulose insulation. Pretty happy with the insulating qualities. And then this is your 1992 condensing unit. This is the unit that's not working. It's old. I tried to activate it, and this unit was making all kinds of noise and whining. What else? Deteriorated insulation on the low pressure line. The unit's out of level. Too much trash and debris. Too much debris and rubbish. Again, foliage around the system. So this system needs further evaluation as far as the whole AC system, just because it's not operating to the thermostat commands. It appears that components, as far as like the condensate drain lines, missing as well.
Okay.
So it needs some attention, unfortunately. Okay. But it's 1992. It's old. Can't tell you how much life is left out of this system, anyways. And then moving on to the roof. So the shingles are dimensional shingles. The shingles are probably maybe 10 years old, maybe a little bit older. The shingles look in pretty good shape actually, but there's a couple spots like on the front of the roofing system where we got some like curling shingles or potential nail pops here, or some loose sheeting a little bit. Flashing around the chimney looks really good there.
It does look good. So
that's, even though there's like water staining on the inside of the attic space of this location, all this stuff here from the chimney looks pretty nice. And again, the chimney cap looks pretty good. Spark arrestor, great, like that stuff. Couple maintenance items, all exposed nail heads, which are maybe 10 to 12. It's not very many, just need to be resealed. That's a typical 6 to 8, 10-year maintenance item anyways. So nail heads need to be resealed. Nice straight lines. No evidence of roof sag or anything on the roofing system. And then I couldn't get to the very tip top of the roof system because it was so windy today.
Yeah.
So I got up as close as I could to the tip top of the roof system, but I was actually hanging on to the roof ridge because it was so windy up there. Is kind of stressful.
That is scary. Yeah. Yes.
But again, roof shingles look good, nice straight lines. I like the
weather vane, which you really needed today.
And that's really about it. More exposed nail heads there. And then there's going to be well-aged metal flue for the furnace. Typical. I touched the best I could. I couldn't get all the way around the circumference of it, but it still appears to be in good shape considering the amount of corrosion there, which is typical for the age. But that's about it. Big takeaway, probably HVAC system. Electrical, and then maybe having a further review on some of this water staining. Yeah. But that's like the big items. There's a few more small ticket items.
You said electrical also? Are you talking about just the double taps?
Double taps, but I'm not really that concerned about it.
Okay.
It's just good to know, just in case.
If it can,
because usually there's like markings on here like to indicate double tap, but I didn't see anything. It's just they're only rated for copper or aluminum.
Okay.
And then usually I can see like if there's plates, because some of them have plates specifically designed to have double taps.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. Other than that, pretty happy structurally with the house. I like the quality of the materials in the home. I mean, you're talking, you got a steel beam that runs from one end of the house to the other end of the house. You got steel posts. Even though you got a couple cracks in the concrete block foundation, I don't think those are indicative of any kind of structural related concerns. I think it's a nice, sound, sturdy house. Most of the windows, well, actually all the windows open and close nice. Some of the doors stick. But overall, pretty good impression of the property. Just a few finishing touches and
figuring out the HVAC.
Figure out the HVAC.
Okay.
It's an old one.
Alrighty.
But questions or concerns, just give me a call, let me know.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.